I'm making this video for myself and also for others. I've just finished up my exams a couple days ago, and I now have 2 whole months basically where I have no school, where I can do pretty much anything that I want to do. In the past, I used to actually get bored of the holidays. I would end up just wasting a lot of time just playing video games during the holidays, which I didn't realize was wasting time. But I used to get so bored because I didn't have any objectives or schedule during the holidays. I had no goals that I was working on, nothing that got me out of bed really. There was no reason for me to do anything because I didn't have any goals. Sleep schedule usually would suffer in the holidays. I genuinely think this is such an important thing to do when you have such a big period of free time, especially when it's months long. You need to have goals. You need to schedule goals, and I think a schedule specifically is essential. Just not a insane one, but just one that gives you some things to do during the day. Once you have objectives to do during the day, suddenly you have a reason to get out of the house or to do something else. We've become conditioned that it's alright to just go with the flow and just let life take you where it takes you. We still need direction. We still need goals to work towards, objectives to complete. Because without those, our life sort of just becomes empty. And especially for men, we become unfulfilled because we're driven, many of us, by purpose and achieving goals. Having goals and objectives is the best way for me to not spend time wasting away on social media or playing video games. If you have goals, you will sacrifice comfort to fulfill the goals because they actually matter to you, because they're objectives that you care about. Without using scheduling or having a to-do list, we often look ahead at the day and think there's a lot of time, so I guess I'll just do nothing now, I'll just relax now, and I'll do the hard stuff later. We're taking it slow, we're having breakfast, we're scrolling on our phone, make our bed, all this stuff. There's no urgency. There's no sort of drive to get things done quickly. And whilst it is good to take it slow once in a while, most of the time we benefit when we go a little bit quicker and we have a bit more pace, a bit more sort of speed to get to do our objectives. Specifically when we scroll on our phones in the morning, this is incredibly bad, because when we scroll in the morning, we're looking at piece of content after piece of content every couple seconds, and our dopamine receptors are spiking as a result and then plummeting below the baseline, and they're doing this so much. So when we finally stop scrolling and we decide we're gonna get some stuff done, we don't really have that much motivation anymore to do the hard things, because we've just spent the past hour maybe indulging and plummeting our dopamine. And when we don't have that much dopamine, we have very little motivation. So you really want to avoid using your phone in the first couple hours of the day and use it to focus on objectives objectives and all this stuff. I'm not saying you need to know and plan out every single day. That is not really feasible nor realistic. There are going to be times where things come up during the day and you're not going to be able to do the thing that you planned at that time. So instead of having like your schedule for the entire holiday, I'd suggest probably having like an ideal day basically. So plan out an ideal day where you do a couple of the goals you want to do and try your best to fulfill that day most days. But when things come up and you are doing things, don't feel awful about it, because that's just how it is. Sometimes things come up and every day is not going to be the same. But also, if you don't want to schedule into like autistic lengths of detail, I'd suggest just writing a to-do list at the beginning of the day. Write 3 things that you want to get done during the day. For example, you could say, I want to go to the gym, I want to write a video, and I want to go to the store and get like some things that I've been needing for like writing notebooks and stuff. Just any 3 things that you want to get done that day, write them down. And this way, all you need to do throughout the day is those 3 things. And if you get those 3 things done, it's been a good day. But if you don't write any of these to-do list things, you can sort of forget throughout the day what you're meant to be doing. And this can sort of lead to like a lack of urgency throughout the day. So writing these things down makes you sort of prioritize them and have a bit more speed throughout the day to get them done. These are the things that will make your day a good day. Since it's the holidays, we often think it's time to relax. Yes, whilst I think it is good to sort of recoup for a couple of days and let your brain sort of just think and just not be bombarded with having to remember stuff from exams. After that, I believe really having goals is far more important than having your relaxation. Think about it, 2 whole months. You can't just do nothing for 2 whole months. And especially for some countries where it's even 3 whole months is your summer break. There's so much time. You can't spend all that time relaxing. Imagine if every day for 2 or 3 months, obviously not every day, but most days, you went to the gym and you focused on bodybuilding. Apart from rest days, of course. Imagine how much progress you would see in that amount of time. Of course, you wouldn't have a 6-pack and 20-inch biceps, but your body would look so much better than it had just only 3 or 2 months ago. I'll put a video in the cards if you want help for like getting into exercise. It'll be up here, I think, or here, one of them. I don't know. I'm all for with the flipped mirror image. The point I'm making is that we should take time to recoup from the school year if we need it. But then we should go and focus on our goals, because there's so much progress we can make in a couple of months. But what if I don't know my goals? What if I don't know what to do? Well, use this couple of months as a period for discovery. Use these months to try out some new things, 5 or 10 new things that you might want to focus on. Because there is so much time here, and you're not really going to have the free time to do this for a while after, because you'll have to go back to school and you'll have other responsibilities. So you want to use this time to discover things that you enjoy, or discover good habits that would make your life more enjoyable. There's no reason you can't try out like 5 or 10 new habits, or like goals, or games, or just anything that can be good for you. There's no reason you can't try chess, then try exercising, going to the gym, running, and then writing scripts for YouTube videos, making YouTube videos. There's so many things that you can do in these couple of months. You just have to try them, because eventually you'll find one that sort of sticks and that you really enjoy, and then you can put more time into this thing. You can be a completely different person in a couple of months. Of course, the differences might not seem noticeable on the surface to yourself, and they might not seem very noticeable to people on the outside, but now you have a reason to wake up. You have a reason to not be scrolling on TikTok until 1 o'clock in the morning. You have a reason to have a sleep schedule, to have goals, to have sort of direction. Aren't you tired of wasting 2 to 3 months every single year? Or because you just don't have an idea of what to do? You don't need to have that feeling anymore. When you have goals and objectives, your life sort of becomes oriented towards these goals. These goals actually matter to you, and they give you a purpose. It might not be your final purpose, but it's your purpose for now. It makes you so much happier. You're not just hibernating like a bear for a couple of months. No, you're going into a cocoon like a caterpillar and blossoming into a butterfly. You're changing into something different over these couple of months. A beautiful butterfly. You're becoming a more well-rounded, not well-rounded, but a better individual, because you have 60 days or longer to do whatever you want. The days are going to pass by, whether you're scrolling on social media or whether you're doing things that actually matter to you. You can choose one or the other. Your fun is relative to your experience, so the more you do these goal things instead of social media and stuff like this, the funner they become. Think about it. If you have a phone and a book and you're left alone in a room with these two things, which item are you going to pick up? It's probably going to be the phone. It gives you more dopamine more quickly. But if you're left alone in a room with just a book in front of you, you might sit there for a while, but eventually you will pick up the book. Because that is relatively more fun than sitting there and doing nothing. Fun is all about the relativity of things that a person does compared to other things. So just make the things that aren't as enjoyable, just make them like the few things that you do, and then they will become more fun. Which way of living do you think you'll choose? Living with goals, or living without any plan, any direction, just sort of going with the flow? I've tried going with the flow in many other holidays, and oftentimes I found it just doesn't work. Ever since I've started living with more goals and sort of direction in life, I've found that life has become far more fulfilling and it feels good. So I would always pick having goals now. But you can never know unless you try it. Spend these couple of months finding your goals or working on your goals, and I promise you it'll be so much better than just playing video games or scrolling on social media. Literally just write down 3 things you want to accomplish each day. That's it. I promise you this will probably be one of the best summers that you've ever had. Anyways, I love you all. Now stop consuming and go create.